We now bring you something amazing. Science!
Science time! Okay, so, I'm always leery, blah, blah. I'm always leery of new technologies and new scientific reports because when you get right down to it, reporters are there to sell themselves and whatever they write, and they want to make it look like everything they have to say is world-changing and oh my god, amazing. And the vast majority of time, these reporters are liars, to put it bluntly. And oh my god, I just besmirched a reporter or type of reporter. It's true though. There are a lot of reporters out there that are yellow journalists, and they really are terrible people because they profess things that aren't true to make a buck off of it, or they talk something up because they don't want to do any investigation. And a reporter's job is to investigate every sort of press release to make sure that the press release is accurate. Well, if a reporter investigates a press release that sounds like a great sale, and they find out that the press release is BS, they can't put the press release out as a report, then some other reporter might put the same press release out because they choose not to investigate that press release, so they're able to make a great sale. So a lot of yellow journalists don't like to investigate great sale press releases that come across their table. Well, that's the long story made short version of why I don't trust a lot of science reporters. Obviously, there's some science reporters out there that I really do trust. There's some great, reporters, people who go after industry who actually know what's going on. Especially if you get a quantifiable scientist who turned reporter, somebody with a science degree who, does special assignments. Those guys are they're the ones I trust more than anything else. Now, I don't have any idea about Nicholas Rivero. I don't know what his history is or not, but in reading this report, it looks pretty interesting. So, the thing is, Richard Branson, I think that's his name, owner of Virgin, billionaire, a few years ago announced that he's going to go for a sustainable air fuel, to make his jets cost efficient using sustainable fuel. And the definition of sustainable isn't that it is completely environmentally friendly, but that it's got less waste than normal fuel of the that's being used. So any step in the right direction is a good step in the right direction. Anyway, so this looks like it's a good step in the right direction. And reading this news report, which is found on WashingtonPost.com, please go there and read it. I'm not going to show the entire report here, but it says that this new fuel has 70% less carbon than petroleum-based jet fuel, according to a press release, which is a good little caveat that this reporter did, because this reporter's saying, I haven't been able to go into the scientific details of it, but if it is correct, this is pretty amazing. And that's what a reporter should do. If they can't go into the details, at least they put in a little caveat according to a press release, and then they link the press release there. Now, I don't think that Richard Branson is in the business of lying all the time. He's one of the few billionaires who will cop to making a mistake when he makes a mistake. He also tries to do what he actually says. although I'm more or less against billionaires existing, you know, he could be worse. There are a lot of billionaires out there that are substantially worse than Sir Richard Branson. Again, hoping I get his name right. Anyway, so let me just double check here. Yes, that is his name. Good. I like it when I get things right. So anyway, go check out this news report. This looks like it's a great future. The report then goes in to say about how it's a chicken and the egg thing, about how it's difficult to produce sustainable fuel because it costs a lot of money. Airlines want cheap fuel, so they're not going for the lot of money. But that's why governments have to get involved. And it's a pretty good report. It discusses all of the difficult stuff in making things environmentally friendlier than they used to be, and 70% fewer carbon emissions is major. It's not a magic bullet, there's no such thing as a magic bullet. It's going to be difficult to push things forward. It doesn't violate the laws of thermodynamics, heat exchange, not heat exchange, the emissions content and all that good stuff. Something always costs for something, to get one thing, you always have to pay another thing. So sustainable aviation fuel looks like it's on a forward-moving road, and I just want to say this. So I'm 44. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, while the gasoline pumps still had leaded fuel, leaded and unleaded. And that was after laws were passed to remove lead from fuel. It took decades, because my parents, they grew up the height of leaded fuel, height of, and ethanol and all that stuff. Ethanol is the corn-based fuel, right? And but it had its own problems. And it takes decades. It took like, it's like, I can't remember when the law was passed, but it took like a couple decades to completely phase out leaded fuel from gasolines. And it took a while, like with the conversion to the, like my mom and dad lived through it. What was it? The catalytic converter. That took a couple of years to get to pass the laws to force a catalytic converter into older cars. It took a while before car companies switched to their converters to make sure they complied. They were resistant, but we got them to do that. We managed to remove lead from fuel. That took a couple decades. I keep saying that. Even then, more and more progress had to be made to remove nasty crap from gasoline. I remember gas exhaust smelling sickeningly sweet from certain pumps, and that was the type of awful pollution that was in it. No longer, I haven't smelled any vehicle exhaust that smells sickeningly sweet like it used to in the 80s. Electric cars were being pushed as the future, starting in the 60s. Use batteries to power engines. It took decades before we finally started getting electric cars. And whether or not you like Elon Musk, Tesla pushed forward a lot of battery designs, and trying to make it more and more acceptable, which is a good thing. I never dreamed that I would have had an electric vehicle in my lifetime, because people kept saying in the 90s, "It won't be in your lifetime." I have a Hyundai Kona. And it's cheaper than owning a gas. The lease on my car is cheaper than paying for gas. The lease on my car is $400 a month, and my electric bill is like 60 to 80. So I got a brand new car, and I mean, when I bought it, it was brand new. I got a huge tax rebate on it. I wound up having to pay $400 a month. And sorry about that. I got a little cough from allergies. So let's say I'm paying $500 a month for charging and leasing and just running my car. I was paying anywhere from $350 to $500 a month in gas for my mom's old car. So maybe I'm paying a little bit more for the privilege of having a brand new car, but if I were using a gas car, I wouldn't be able to afford a new car and the gas for the car. I have a new car that's electric, and I'm able to run around with it. I'm actually able to afford it. My little car. And it's fantastic. And people kept saying it, not in your lifetime. So that's why I don't believe any of these people say, not in your lifetime. Same thing with renewable aviation fuel. Not in your lifetime. Richard Branson's doing it. It looks like. And it looks like it's, if Richard Branson's press release is accurate, 70% less carbon emissions. It's not a smoking gun. It's not, not smoking gun. It's not a magic bullet. That's what I meant to say. It's not a magic bullet. There's no such thing as a magic bullet. It takes drive. It takes money. It takes people who are skilled to work toward a better future, to work toward a goal. It takes corporate competition, and you have competition going on as opposed to monopolies. There's a reason for a corporation to put a lot of money into it, and into a brand new technology, because they're trying to get ahead of the game. That's the name of the game. Get ahead of the game. That's the competition, and it looks like this is a fantastic thing. I've been talking for 12 minutes. So now, is this smoking bullet? Smoking bullet. Magic bullet. Boy, I'm just screwing up on that term. Is this a magic bullet? No, it's not. It's never going to be a magic bullet. There's no such thing as a magic bullet. Is this a step in the right direction? It looks like it is. Is this a big step in the right direction? I think so. 70%. That's pretty damn good. People said the same thing about cars. In my lifetime, I used to see gas pumps that had leaded and unleaded. Now everything is unleaded. I don't think that there's a gas pump in this country that has leaded fuel. At least there shouldn't be. And not only that, but I'm now driving an electric car that gets 300 to 350 miles per charge, because I know how to use the little paddles. You push the paddle in, gain back some energy with the dynamo, and then you release the paddle to get into like a cruise thing. I'm pretty damn good at it. The car only has a rating of like 280 miles, but I can get up to 350 per charge. That's fantastic. My God, 350 miles? My God. Can I make it to Denver on one charge like I could with a gas car? Well, with my gas cars, I was always filling up between Grand Junction and Denver. I was always filling up in Vail, no matter what. Vail or Eagle, I'd always fill up. And I checked the charging stations. There are charging stations in like Vail and Eagle. So, it would not change my driving habits if I were to go over to Denver. I haven't gone over to Denver in a few years. I haven't had the need to. But 350 miles, that's pretty damn good. It's way light years ahead of where they said they would be. For any of you who are younger than 30, you may not understand what I'm talking about until you get a little bit older. But there have been leaps and bounds of changes in this world. In my lifetime, 4 decades. My mom and dad, they're 70. They're in their 70s. 7 decades for them. So, to anyone saying, not your lifetime, it's possible. There are things that are possible. Magic bullets? I got that one right. Magic bullets? No, there are no magic bullets. Hard work. Pushing science to its limits. Pushing our understanding of science to its limits. Discovering new alternatives where we didn't think that they existed. That's what progress is all about. So, plane fueled by fat and sugars across the Atlantic Ocean. Obviously, it's not just fat and sugar, right? It's processed, Sugar is used for a lot of things. It's used for, sugar is basically like a magic element in this world. Machine grade lubricant, fuel, all sorts of things. Energy. Basically, sugar is energy. How you prepare and use sugar is, it's pretty amazing. Fat and sugar, fat's essentially petroleum, natural petroleum, as opposed to, as in like within your body, living beings create fat. That's what I mean by natural. Obviously, petroleum's in the natural world, but that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I did not think that we would see 70% efficiency in my lifetime. We have. It's there, and hopefully we can get up to 90%. That would be amazing. It might be impossible, but I say efficiency. What I mean is, I'm sorry, I misused the word. I don't know. Maybe it is a form of efficiency. Less carbon emissions. 70% less carbon emissions. Can we get up to 90% less carbon emissions? Maybe impossible, but we'll see. And it's not the save all for the human race or the Earth, but it's a great step in the right direction. So I just wanted to share this with you. Look at this in the future. Look and see where we are with sustainable aviation fuel. Fuel. Look where we're going. Look where we are. Keep pressing forward. We're going to need chemists. We're going to need biochemists. We're going to need engineers. Maths and science. Mathematics and science. I actually said maths for all the UK people out there. I threw you a bone. All of the mathematics out there and all the sciences, we're going to need more people. We're going to need people who believe in moving forward. And for people who talk about, well, we could do more with nuclear, let it go. All right, there are a lot of problems with nuclear. And the only reason why nuclear has been kept in a relatively safe corner in our evolutionary process is that we are not using nuclear for everything. That's because we know how bad things can turn out if we do use nuclear for everything. So, let that go. We're going to have to look for things other than that, things that won't, that don't have the potential to cause as serious damage to the universe as nuclear. Do we need nuclear for certain things? We absolutely do, but we don't need nuclear-powered jets. Maybe, I wouldn't even trust the military to have nuclear-powered jets, and neither does the military. They considered it. They said, we're not going to do that because there are real problems. Nuclear-powered submarines, but maybe space planes. We might have nuclear power from. But I don't know. I'm getting a little off track. 20 minutes. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.